Hey, we're live again. It is Monday, June 10th, the day after 6/9. Nice.
Giggity.
And it is the Three Guys Talking Ball podcast. Ethan is back after taking another L about saying it was Special K bars, but the internet decided it was Scotcheroos. So another
Dylan,
L, but he's back.
There's a lot of stupid people out there, and that just confirms it.
Now,
I'm just curious, what was the percentage, Dylan?
It was 75% Scotcheroos.
Oh, so
that just means there's 25% smart people out there.
No.
So is this
You're
when Ethan would say that he's not a sheep? And he's just not following the crowd like the rest of the people who voted for Scotcheroos?
No, he's just brainless.
I am the lion.
Oh. You know, when you have to tell people you're a lion, you're not really a lion. That's usually how that works.
Well,
just like how Michigan men shouldn't have to say they're good people, but they still do.
Exactly.
So
I've never said that.
I'm talking shit about the whole Michigan brand in general, like those assholes who went there. And they like to talk about, hey, I'm a Michigan man.
We're the national champions, Grant. There's no. What are you going to say? That we're the national champions?
I'm not. You're an
idiot.
That?
That year's
national
over. Doesn't
champions.
matter.
There you go.
Over.
There you go. National champions.
No,
we're the national champions until somebody else wins it.
Well, here's the thing. I can tell you're upset because I'm not talking about the football team. I'm talking about those arrogant assholes who graduated from that university, who have to go off and let everybody know that I'm a good person. I'm a Michigan man, blah, 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 blah.
Who does that? Name one person.
Anywhere you go on the internet, you talk about
that's not naming a person. You haven't named one person. You can't name that. So it's not true.
It's
Joe Schmo 69 on Twitter every time.
You know that there's that stupid thing from Michigan graduates where they say, I'm a Michigan man because I'm a good person. What the hell does that mean? The Matthew Slater doesn't say he's a good person. Just like how a lion doesn't have to say he's a lion. So it's the same argument. Matthew
Slater never went to Michigan, though.
Well, he went to a better school at UCLA, and he's a 3-time Super Bowl champion. So that's a little better than going to Michigan, if you ask me.
You know, good for Matt, but he never won a national championship.
Oh, my God.
I hope Ohio State wins next year. I'm sick of you. I can't do this anymore.
Oh, do you, huh?
I do.
Can you imagine if Dallas is ever relevant in the playoffs?
I'm going to unfriend this guy.
Oh, now you got to change the subject. Besides, I'm a Vikings fan now. I'm with you, Ethan.
Are you?
I'm going to be miserable with you. So
are you a JJ
I don't
McCarthy
trust
fan?
you. I don't trust you.
Yes, Grant.
Okay, all right. Well,
Boone doesn't trust you. You know what happens when Boone doesn't trust people? He bites people.
Yeah.
I could say something, Ethan, but I'm not going to.
Grant knows this is true. He tried to bite Grant.
This is true.
Grant probably deserved that, though.
So I'll give you the play-by-play on that situation. There's Ethan's old apartment, yes, because remember he moves every single year. He was out looking towards his patio. Ethan's back was towards me, and I was walking towards Ethan because Ethan told me to come to the window. Well, all Boone sees is Dad's back turned and someone walking up behind him, and he doesn't know. So he distinctly was like, "Hey, I'm gonna try to bite this guy's hand so he doesn't harm Dad." And then for about 5 minutes it was awkward, and it was like, I think Boone wants to kill me. And then we moved on.
Now they're best friends.
But I did come from work, and I was wearing a certain color head to toe
Black.
that he did not mesh with. Yes, it was.
So you're saying Boone would not like Johnny Cash?
Correct.
Probably.
That is correct.
Okay, Grant. I'm glad you. It took you a little bit, but you figured it out.
Yeah, like you said, it took me a while, but we got from point A to point B.
You know what? It's Monday. I get it. It's, well, I suppose you had to work this weekend. I did not. It was a little bit of a struggle this morning for me, but I got up at 5. I went and worked out and got through Monday. It was we had a downpour this afternoon, and it was probably the worst rain that I've ever driven in my entire life, guys. Like, I literally could not see from like me to like the hood of my car. It was coming down that hard.
Did you crash?
Did not crash. No.
Oh, what a guy.
So, and I was like surrounded by like 5 semis too. So I was like white knuckling. I was like up like as close as I could to the windshield to try to see if it was coming down any harder, I probably would have had to pull over.
I was going to say, considering that you were near 5 semis, I may have just pulled over. I would have just said, I'm done with this.
I thought about it, but I didn't. But got through it. I was down in Deadwood for the weekend. Golfed 2 beautiful courses. My golf game was not as beautiful as the courses, though. It was ugly.
I must say, I had one hell of a shot on Saturday, so
did you?
I was happy with myself. I did.
Well, let's hear it. It
was a 210-yard par 3 into the wind. I stuck it within 20 feet. I missed the birdie putt, but you know what? It's fine.
Did you par it at least?
Put it with my 4-iron. What? Yeah, I parred. But yeah, put it out there with my 4-iron, and it was probably the purest 4-iron I've ever hit in my life.
So, Ethan, is that the one shot that's going to make you want to come back for more, even though you shouldn't?
Actually, the hole before that, I even had a good drive. It was like a 240-yard par 4, and I put that within 5 yards of the green. So, yeah, I was pretty content with that one, too. So, I had a couple shots that those two might want. Yeah, those 2 are going to bring me back. Yeah.
That's fair.
No, I mean, I'm still on the pickleball. But I'm not quite away from that. So we're still the old man game going.
Well, you gotta save up. You gotta save up for a wedding. So
yeah, that's expensive. So pickleball is much more cheap.
Well, exactly. You just got to make sure you don't hurt yourself with the whole insurance thing going on right now.
Oh yeah, we'll have to tell Dylan about that.
Oh boy, you hit a great shot with your 4-iron, and my 4-iron is the reason I've been having I've had shoulder problems. No, not trust issues. No. There's plenty of other reasons why I have trust issues here, but no, the 4-iron that was the club that I spiked into the ground and it got stuck and it caused a jolt into my shoulder.
I was going to say it was either you chucked it into the ground or you just threw it into the water so hard your arm came out of socket.
No. Now it almost feels like it's going to come out of socket when I'm throwing a softball.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah. I gotta put like my entire body into it. Like you really, really use the legs to get a good throw off. I also did something that I haven't done since I was probably like 10 last Tuesday. No, I mean, this year it's been probably close to that, but I played second base for the first time since I was like 10 years old.
Playing infield and slow pitch softball is like one of the dumbest things people can do with their lives.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me enough money to do that.
No.
Luckily the team we were playing was not very good. So I had one ball hit to me and I scooped it up, tossed it to second to get us out of the inning. And that was it pretty much. And I got an out. A grounder hit the third. I was able to get over and cover second to get the out. I had to stretch like a first baseman, but we got the out.
I got to say this. Of all the infield spots, I think second base in terms of slow pitch softball is the one I'd feel the most safe playing.
Yeah.
The one you'd never catch me at his third base.
Yeah, I did that once, and I swear to God, I thought I crapped my pants. Like, it was just the worst thing in my life.
Like, I would have the helmet and the mask that the softball pitchers have. You know, the fast pitch pitchers.
Most people do.
Okay. I didn't know that was most people did that, Dylan.
They have to now.
Okay, I guess that makes sense because you couldn't pay me enough money to play that spot.
That and usually are wearing a cup.
You have to. I mean, because one of the jewels is gonna come popping out. Or you're gonna take it in one of the spots there.
But yeah, have you guys heard of Ian Munsick before?
Nope.
No. So he was also in Deadwood, and I went to his concert, and he put on a heck of a show. It was a good time. And apparently he is a lot more popular than I ever thought, because I didn't hear about the guy until like about a week before. And when I said that I never heard of him, a lot of people were very angry and jealous and told me they hate me because I was like, you didn't even know who he was and you got to go to his concert. I am super jealous. They're also going to be very jealous when they find out the price that I paid compared to what it was going for before the concert started. They were going for like almost like $400, and I got it for $55.
That's like more expensive than double the price to get into Morgan Wallen. That's like really stupid.
I mean, how big is this venue where this concert was at if they're $400?
I think they said it was like 5,000 people probably. I mean, it was sold out. It was.
Oh, so this guy, he is a big deal then.
He is a big deal. He's from Wyoming. There were a couple of people that we were with that actually got a picture with him. He was walking out of one of the steakhouses there and caught him, and he stopped and took a picture with them and put on a good show. Closed down Deadwood, and then drove back yesterday. So that was the excitement of my weekend. The NBA Finals was also some excitement going on as the Celtics went up 2-0. And frankly, right now the way this series is looking is it's just the Celtics are just too deep. Especially like Grant, you said, Drew Holiday was going to be an X factor, and right now he is playing like that X factor, playing as well as you could ask him, along with Derek White. For really Dallas, it felt like to have a shot in this series was Kyrie and Luka were going to have to play like they did in the conference finals. And Luka's holding his end of the bargain up, but Kyrie has not played well. You got to wonder him being back in Boston, and you can tell he's not the most well-liked guy in the arena, but maybe him going back home to Dallas this Wednesday night, he'll be able to recreate some juice, get behind that home crowd. But right now, Boston is looking like a tough out for him.
Well, Dylan, to your point with Kyrie, it almost looks like he's trying to do too much in front of his ex, and it's just he's falling flat on his face right now. He's kind of pressing, and he just looks off mentally. And when Kyrie is off, you're in a dangerous headspace if you're on his team, because he's as fragile as they come, and his demeanor goes up and down more like a roller coaster. But also, I mean, just look at how good Porzingis has been since he's been back. I know, there's 21 minutes in game one, and he had 20 points. I mean, it looks like he's almost brought a little extra juice to the Celtics team that they didn't have before. And he's kind of canceling out Jason Tatum playing kind of mid so far. But yeah,
mid is very that's like giving him a compliment.
A little generous there, yeah, I guess.
18 and 12 ain't terrible.
Was it 12 assists the other night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he has, and we shouldn't say that mid, but his shooting, if you're saying it's mid, is very very generous. But I mean, he's done a really good job of affecting impacting the game in other ways than scoring, because he leads the team in rebounds. He's been tremendous on the defensive end. When Dallas had a shot to make it a 5-point game, he had the steal on Kyrie that allowed Boston to, I believe, get a layup on the other end and then get another stop. And they kind of were able to pull away from there. But, I mean, right now, they have 5 guys that are averaging 16 points or more right now in this series.
Mm-hmm. I also think what you mentioned with Tatum a little bit is that's him growing. He's not just scoring the ball like he was last year. He's impacting it in multiple ways, like you just said. But that's what we need Edwards to do. That's what we need McDaniels, Cat. Like, that's what we need all those guys to do. And that's honestly why we're not there right now. So to see Boston get that close last year and now this year, it's not even really close. They're just absolutely demolishing people. But hopefully that's what the T-Wolves can do next year, because it's kind of the next stepping stone, is just being able to impact the game in more ways than just putting the ball in the hoop.
Well, yeah, Ethan, to your point, like when Holiday last night can get 26, Jaylen Brown's going to do his thing. You have Porzingis, coming off right away. It's okay to not – you don't need to score 30 points. But when you're getting 12 assists and you're getting your other teammates involved, there's nothing wrong with that. And like, this is Boston. It takes a while to learn and grow to become a winner like this. Kobe got swept in his first playoff series, and if I'm not mistaken, he shot an air ball in that last game to extend the game, right?
He was in the conference finals against the Jazz, and there's actually a documentary on Hulu that I think it was released last year about the Lakers dynasty, and I was watching it. It just I don't know if you guys have seen on Hulu the docu-series about the Clippers, the Donald Sterling drama. And it was it's pretty interesting. The actors, the people that they have playing the characters, they look absolutely nothing like who they play in real life. You just got to go look them up. Just go look up Clipped on the internet, and you will see like Doc Rivers looks nothing like Doc Rivers. Chris Paul looks like a guy playing Cuba Gooding Jr. Steph Curry looks Mexican. Klay Thompson looks Asian. Donald Sterling, which if you remember Donald Sterling, he was like a 5'4" fat midget looking dude. And they have Ed O'Neal playing him, which Ed O'Neal, when you think of Ed O'Neal, he's like a big burly dude that played linebacker in the NFL back in the early whatever days. Or looks like he didn't play, but it is comical how unrealistic all the actors look like each other. But after one of the episodes ended, started playing episode 1 of this Lakers dynasty. And I just kind of started watching it and got hooked on it. And yeah, it was his rookie year, and they were down 3-0, and in game 4 they had a chance to win, and he airballed the shot that would have won him the game 4, and then he had 3 more airballs in overtime. Mm-hmm. And then the Jazz eventually ended up winning and sweeping the Lakers.
And that's kind of where I was going with my point there. It's like Ethan said, so you have to learn to win. And it's taken Boston a long time, to get to the finals and be up 2-0 now. Again, this thing's not over yet, because Dallas at home has been great this postseason. And, if they can win game 3 and get some momentum, you never know. But, Dylan, like you said, Boston played a pretty bad game last night. They were their first 9 from 3. But luckily they made all their foul shots, something Dallas decided not to do. And it looks like they're in commanding lead. And if Boston doesn't win this thing, if you ask me, in 5 games, as of right now, I'd be surprised.
Yeah. And back to what Ethan said, is talking about the Celtics growing. Grant, that was something we talked about last week, was how was Boston learning from losing to the Warriors 2 years ago, going to help them. And it looks like they've used what they've learned from the 2022 season to now, and they're applying it, and you get the result where they are playing such great team ball, where Dallas is very much more reliant on Luka and Kyrie isn't holding up his end of the bargain. And I think another factor is that Boston has been doing a good job of getting one-on-ones on defense against Luka and really wearing him out, forcing Luka to defend and wearing him out so he doesn't have as much energy on the offensive end of the ball.
That's a point Johnny Athletic made on K-Fan today, is the Celtics have like 4 or 5 guys that are actual scoring threats that can go at Luka. Where you look at the T-Wolves, and Gobert's not a threat. Mike Conley is to an extent, but I mean, Luka's never going to be.
He's going to be wide open.
Yeah, you only have Cat and Ant. That's all you have in terms of like actual weapons. McDaniels still has to take that step. Naz Reid is good, but he also has to take a step too. He's not consistent enough. So that was the biggest thing in that series, was we just literally didn't have the players to actually wear him down, make him work. So he was a little bit slower on the offensive end.
And Ethan, did you say something like after game 1, did Boston have a little bit different defensive strategy on Luka, where he wasn't finding all these open guys and the alley-oops weren't there? Like they were the whole series against
they don't have many oops, but a lot of it is they have more bodies that are able to defend him. Like McDaniels is good, but he's skinny. He doesn't have the weight that Tatum has, that Jaylen Brown has, and they can go pound for pound with Luka. So that's the biggest thing. They have so many guys that not only can take Kyrie, because we also really didn't have anyone for Kyrie. McDaniels is too slow. Ant, for whatever reason, just kept getting burned. Mike Conley's too slow. And so we just didn't have the wing bodies to take him like the Celtics do. It's a different guy each possession. They switch everything because they all can defend it.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'll be kind of just intrigued to see, which Dallas team shows up. Was it went Wednesday night? Like, back in the confines of the home court, does American Airlines Center kind of get them going? Can they make more of their foul shots? Can they consistently hit the three? And Boston's been great on the road this postseason, guys. Does that continue? Because what's crazy is for the most part, when they've struggled, it seems like they've struggled at home. And again, they didn't play too great, in game 2 the other night, but they got the dub. So I don't know. I'll kind of be intrigued to see what happens, because something's got to break. Dallas can't continue to play this good at home, and if they do, Boston can't be winning on the road like they have been.
And maybe we over-exaggerated the Celtics losing, because when you look at it, they've only lost 2 games in the playoffs. And I mean, I think maybe we've just held them to a much higher standard just because of how great they were in the regular season, that we thought they were just going to roll over. But not many teams you see just roll through. I mean, no team has ever swept through the NBA playoffs. I think the Warriors were the closest back in 2017, when I don't know if they had a loss until the Game 4 against the Cavs in the NBA Finals. But I mean, even like the Warriors 73-9 year, I think their first round they went 5 games. Their second round, it went to 6, and then they were down 3-1 against the Thunder in the conference finals and came back to win. So, the playoffs are a different animal, and they lost 2 games, and then what did Boston do after that? They go on to win the next 3 and sweeping on the road. They haven't lost yet on the road this year in the playoffs, which is impressive, to put it lightly. Which, I mean, that's incredibly tough. So we'll see if that trend continues here, but let's move over, unless you guys got something more to add for this, but no. Okay, well, then we'll go to the the other big news of the day that we were waiting on to hear is that Dan Hurley announced that he was going to be staying at UConn after interviewing with the Lakers. That news dropped on, was it Thursday or Friday last week? Or I think it was Friday morning, and that the Lakers have reached out. He went and met with them, and frankly, I don't blame him for staying. I think he is happy at UConn. His wife loves it there. She's from the East Coast. I think he has a chance to do something special, and I don't think Dan Hurley is someone that's going to be mesmerized by the money. I think if the right NBA job presents itself, I wouldn't be shocked if he tries to go to the NBA, but I don't know what the Lakers are thinking here because they completely lowballed him. 6 years, $70 million. I think if they offered him up to that $13-14 million range, that it would like what Monty Williams would be at, because I think that's kind of where you want him to be at. But $11.5 million would not be enough to coach the Lakers and have to deal with LeBron, especially with them wanting to draft his kid only because it's his kid. And I think, this wasn't a move that's going to be for LeBron because LeBron's only got a couple of years left, but this is something afterwards. And you're also taking the chance that if LeBron doesn't like him, which, I do think that like the first disagreement they have, I think LeBron and Danny Hurley should fight. And I know the size differential is quite a bit, but I think Dan Hurley's scrappy enough. LeBron would just get like, it'd be one little touch and he would flop and act like he needs to get his leg amputated. But I think if he went to a young team where he could build a culture, cultivate it, something like what OKC did or the Celtics did when they hired Brad Stevens, I think that would be a perfect job for him. But I mean, this Lakers job, as far as pay goes, not worth it, and the roster is terrible.
I never really bought this from the beginning. Just when it first came out, Woj saying like, "Oh, they're meeting Friday." If it was that serious, you sign it, you deliver it, you're done. Like you don't just like run it down a couple days and then I'm going to decide on Monday. I think it was just a money grab, just to kind of up the offer from UConn. After taxes, he would have only made $1.4 million more with the Lakers. So like you said, Dylan, they completely lowballed them after they're saying like, "Oh, they're going to put this giant package together." No, that was never really in the cards. And where do you go if you're the Lakers? Like you shot so high for probably the best college coach right now in basketball, and then you go to JJ Redick. Like where do you turn to? Because no one else is going to take it. They see the roster. They see D'Lo on the roster, which is just I'd run if they don't 100% guarantee me that day he's not going to be on the roster. I ain't taking the job. But I just don't think you can turn to JJ Redick. Like how do you go from Hurley? Granted, yes, he knows basketball. He learned under Coach K. He's never proven anything. So, like, I just think it'd be a massive just failure as an actual organization.
You know why, though, is because he's buddies with LeBron, and LeBron would be the coach telling him what to do, kind of like what he is now, where it was talked about how LeBron would sub himself in and out of games. And
yeah.
And all the LeBron ball washers will say, well, they'll try to defend him, but I mean, he's the one that's behind all of these moves, and the Lakers are more worried about keeping him. But I mean, LeBron is I guess is 21. I mean, he's still a great player, but everybody's too afraid to tell him no, or he's going to leave. But at some point, his day is done, and why not just cut bait with him? Because I mean, they haven't gotten out of the first round. They were swept, but although be it one of the most competitive sweeps of all time, last year against the Nuggets, because that's what we judge LeBron's greatness on is, hey, he didn't have anybody, but at least he got him. It was a competitive game 4-game series sweep. But the and just for context too is the Dan Hurley was offered 6 years, $70 million. Coach K, when he was offered the job back in 2004 with the Lakers, he was only offered it was only a $3.5 million a year difference. They offered him $8 million, which, I mean, it's still obviously good money, but I mean, to be the coach of the Lakers, you would think you got to get up into that higher echelon payroll for if you want to go anywhere or get a good high quality coach, which Dan Hurley is.
Pretty sure Eric Spoelstra makes over $20 million.
I thought the
top 5 highest. Yeah. So the top 5 highest is Kerr is number 1 at 17.5. Okay. Popovich is 16. Spoelstra's 15. Monty Williams is 13, and then Mike Budenholzer, who just got
Phoenix
hired by the Suns, he's at $10 million.
Okay.
Which I think Budenholzer is a good coach. I think he kind of got a raw deal after last year because it was found out after the fact that like the day of game 1 he found out his brother died, and I can't imagine having to try to deal with that where it was like trying to coach, and they've just had terrible luck with injuries.
Well, I was going to say if it wasn't for injuries, last year, and I think even that year in the bubble, who knows? Milwaukee might have more than one. But no, Dylan, I'm with Ethan. When I heard Dan Hurley was negotiating or floating with the Lakers, I was like, I just don't see it. And just because the bravado and the intensity that he coaches with, I don't think that could last in an 82-game season in the NBA. I think
not anymore.
Not anymore. These players.
I also think, though, that Dan Hurley is a smart enough coach to where he can adjust, and I think he can still be that hard-nosed coach. And, he's got the resume that speaks for itself, but, I mean, how long until LeBron starts calling him out where LeBron will start talking behind the coach's back, getting their ears like, you don't need to listen to this guy. Let's get him out, run him out of here, which would probably happen.
100%, because the first time that he doesn't give LeBron a day off on a back-to-back and he makes him play, he's going to sit back and then he's going to say something cryptic on social media. He's going to have some ridiculous hashtag, and he's going to make it all about him. And then I think that locker room would resent Hurley. And then also, why would you leave an empire that you just built to go to try to rebuild rebuild something now? It doesn't make any sense. In this competitive, Western Conference, which is only going to get better. Why would you want to take on a job with an aging LeBron, AD who's made of glass, and then a roster which is just booty cheeks the rest of the way?
Like also, most nights where Austin.
Yeah, and then also you have to live in California. No thanks.
And who wants to pay to drive? Or is it 30 cents a mile or some BS that Newsom's trying to pass?
Oh yeah, it's just something ridiculous.
It's just stupid.
Gas is $7 a gallon. It's not worth it to live out there.
No.
So he made the right choice, and he can be the top dog in college. And with him kind of flirting a little bit, it made those boosters scared at UConn, and they were like, "Hey, you know what? Maybe this guy deserves a pay raise, and we'll get one here."
To no one's surprise, Royce Lewis just an absolute nuke. So
hey, the other thing is I don't know if you guys heard, but Coach K was also helping with this coach search, and Big Cat pointed out, something interesting though, is that I think he's a little threatened by Dan Hurley because, there's a good chance, as Big Cat tweeted out, Coach K is behind all this. He knew Hurley would surpass him in record speed, so what does he do? He becomes an unofficial resource in the Lakers head coaching search and tells them Hurley is the only guy for the job.
I mean, Big Cat is the biggest Coach K hater out there, but right here, this isn't being a hater. This is just spitting cold hard truth.
I don't think Big Cat's a hater. He's just a truth teller. I mean, there's nothing that Big Cat or this podcast has pointed out about Coach K that nobody can dispute it. I mean, remember Pete Goddard is in Siberia right now. because he was forced to take all of Coach K's losses because he had back problems, and the wins that Pete Gaudette won when he was the coach. Did Pete Gaudette get those wins? No, Coach K did. Did Pete Gaudette get all the loses that he was the head coach of? He sure did. And then after that, you know what the thanks Coach K said? You can go off to Siberia. I never want to see your face again.
Well, and also let's not forget the fact that Coach K's wife threw a child in a closet.
Locked him in there.
Locked the child in the closet.
She wore a mask though at while he was coaching though. So she cares about others.
I forgot
that makes up for it.
I forgot that she's better than us.
Uh-huh.
How could I forget?
Or his grandson that likes to drink adult beverages underage and then go driving while the star player is in the vehicle with him. Did we forget about that?
We know if the star player wasn't driving and he just was the fall guy.
You never know.
You know what? These were not Duke lacrosse players, so I think Durham PD may have turned their heads and said, "Yeah, we'll take care of you."
It's possible.
But that I think that wraps it up here. The Twins came out with their City Connect jersey. What did you guys think of those?
I don't know why people are so mad about them because literally none of these jerseys have looked good. They almost all look like trash. So I'm not sure why people are surprised the Twins do too. I don't hate them as much as some people. Like, they're okay.
Grant.
I just wish they would have used kind of like maybe a little different color scheme. Like, I get the point behind it, but I don't know.
They're kind of Brewers colors.
Yeah, they're just, I don't know, just all of them just look terrible. Like Detroit's awful. Tampa Bay, I think, had some awful.
They're shit. Let's call a spade a spade. I know Ethan wants.
I don't understand. Why don't they just have like a throwback? You know, wear the old pinstripe jerseys that they wore when they won the World Series. Like, do something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know about or wear their wear the Carolina blue jerseys that they never ever wear anymore.
The powder blues.
The only from the 60s.
Yeah.
Maybe some Senators ones. Wear some Washington Senators shirt.
Yeah, some old school Senators. I mean, if the Dallas Stars can wear North Star jerseys, we should be able to wear Washington Senators jerseys.
Yeah, that'd be
it's not
cool.
that hard.
With the baggy pants.
That would be a good
you can on MLB The Show. You can wear Senators jerseys for the Twins.
You can.
So if you can do it in the show, you should be able to do it now in real life.
Exactly.
I mean, I gotta say this, guys. Minnesota recently, as a state and a whole, we're striking out left and right. No pun intended on the baseball thing there. These City Connect uniforms, trash. Game 5, season on the line for the Timberwolves, and we come out with that trash ass gray and lime green uniform against the Mavs. Trash. It's summer. Every single road is under construction in the Twin Cities here. It takes me 40 minutes to get anywhere. This pisses me off.
So, Grant, are you saying that the Twins should have been wearing like some orange vests for their City Connect jerseys?
At this point, yeah, they should have had the orange vest, and there should be some guy at second base holding the stop and slow sign. Because
Glovesy. It's goddamn Glovesy.
Yeah, goddamn Glovesy. Because
let's give the Global football some credit. Their new jerseys are actually pretty cool.
Yeah, those are nice.
I was going to say the football teams in this state actually got it somewhat figured out. Because the Gophers are nice, and the Vikings whiteout with a white helmet is going to look real good this year. When they wear those, so props to the football teams in Minnesota here, and then also. Continuing on the shittiness of something new, our new state flag is absolute trash.
Is it?
It's garbage. I don't know.
I don't think I've ever actually looked at it yet.
I don't get it. It makes no sense. Some person out there who designed it, they're thinking they're all cool because, hey, I just drew the new Minnesota state flag. Well, it sucks. I have so many problems with what's going on in the state of Minnesota right now, Dylan. It actually
is it this one?
Yes.
Yeah,
it looks like a flag for a country in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Kind of.
And
why did they change it?
Apparently, the old one was racist.
Oh.
Because Dylan, if you look at the symbol or the seal, there's a white man with a hoe, and he's tilling his lawn. And
what was her name?
Probably Sarah, because there's always a Sarah.
True.
and he's tilling his lawn, and if you look at it, if you look at the top of the flags, north, east, southwest, he's walking east, and then a Native American is on a horseback walking.
Who is naked? It looks like
riding west. Very well might be naked. It was the 1800s. We didn't have much for clothing then, or all the buffalo had been killed by the white man, so they had no pelts to wear. So. And it apparently someone thought it was racist because the Native American is riding west, so the white man kicked him out of his homeland. So we needed to get a new flag, and we went to Southeast Asia with our new flag.
Is that why they got rid of the Land O'Lakes girl, too?
Well, probably. I mean, we got rid of Aunt Jemima. We got rid of the Land O'Lakes girl. We got rid of all the good stuff. Uncle Ben. I don't know, but it's funny. The Land O'Lakes is still. They took the Land O'Lakes woman off the container of butter, but we're still showing the Native American land. So we just repeated history. The white man took the native land.
Oh boy! All right, let's go to curveball of the week before this goes any more off the rails here. Ethan, what do you have for curveball of the week?
So we've been trying to find like the best grocery store for like organic produce. We've been trying to eat cleaner. Aldi's actually took the cake. They have some phenomenal organic produce. So what is a grocery store that kind of blew you away or just beat your expectations?
Ooh. Well, I would have to say it'd be Bronson's Marketplace in Bowman, North Dakota. They have their own smokehouse, so they make their own jerky, and it is phenomenal. It's well taken care of. They've got great produce. It's a clean store. If one of these days when I go there, I'm going to have to bring my cooler and buy. I think if I could, this is pre-Joe Biden presidency when inflation wasn't terrible. I could have probably spent $200 roughly in there on stuff. Now it's probably like $500, but I would have to say the Bronson's Marketplace in Bowman, as you know, in the banana belt of Southwest North Dakota, we don't have a whole lot of options as far as grocery stores go. We got Walmart, we got Family Fare, and we have Cashwise. And there's the closest Costco is 100 miles east in Bismarck, but I'm not a Costco member, so I don't get to go. I'm not allowed to go in there. So I can't speak for Costco because I don't go to Bismarck enough to justify spending whatever the yearly fee is.
It's like $60 a year.
I think my sister has one. Maybe I'll be able to use hers or something.
Good luck. You show your face at checkout.
Oh.
Match it to your card.
Well, Dylan,
I got you.
You could just say this is what you looked like before the sex change.
They're tired of scumbags like you coming in and taking the money.
Yeah, apparently my money ain't green enough.
How dare they? How Costco do? How dare they?
I know.
Do that?
I mean, it might work.
There's only one way to find out.
Say Costco's salsa is incredible.
In the wrong spot. Hey, Grant,
yeah, they don't care. They don't care who's on the
gas on Saturday.
What was it?
Friday.
Friday. They don't care who's on the gas card.
Grant got their gas on Friday.
Yeah, for $2.99, it was lovely. Compared to like $3.39
Don't check.
or $3.29.
Just inside.
Yep.
Like that.
Well, we lost Ethan. So Dylan, I'll answer his question, even though he's not here. I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of hard to say because I really am not much of a grocery store savant in terms of going to nice stores. But I will say there was one. I went to I want to say it was a Kowalski's in St. Paul at one time, and I didn't make enough money to walk into that building.
A Kowalski? What's a Kowalski's?
It's a local chain here in Minnesota. It's
okay.
More of kind of an upscale market. With that, Dylan, you might.
Do you always have to have like your pinky out when you're walking through?
Yeah, I don't think they sell coffee there. I think they only sell tea.
Oh,
definitely
will not be allowed to be in that place.
The lowest grade of ground beef they probably have is 93% lean, and people who buy that there are probably considered fat. I'm sure more people go for the 96% lean. I said, but again, that's who these people are. They're really not good people, but they think they're better than us because they make $200,000 a year. But just like what you said, it was very clean. The lighting was just very bright. The floor, you could tell the floors were buffed every single night. The produce was fresh. The meat department was red. All the beef was red. It was fresh. You could tell it was cut that day. The whole store was faced up. It looked very good. So I'd say Kowalski's in St. Paul.
All right. Well, I don't know if we're going to be able to get Ethan back here right now. Not able to display his camera and mic. Ethan, if you can hear us, text us. We'll see. But if not, I suppose we're just going to have to wrap up this episode. Game 3, is Wednesday. And then in next week's episode, depending on what happens in the NBA Finals, we will. He's texting me.
He can hear and see us.
He says he can hear and see us, but we cannot see him. But let's see here, people. As nothing is working here for Ethan, but because next week we will be together. We're going to be going to the Twins game on Thursday, and I'm thinking out loud here is that it would be a shame if we didn't do some type of content. So I'm thinking what we do here is for the Twins game, we do some food reviews. I've been seeing Hayden do it on Armchair Banter. He was actually watching the Twins on Sunday, helped them get a win yesterday. Watching them in Pittsburgh. He's going to the where did he say he was going? He's going to the Reds game tomorrow night.
He saw the touchdown in the 10th inning.
Yes, but so I think we'll have to figure out. I think we each get a different item and we rate it on Thursday when we're at the game. So that's going to be the plan. We're also going to Morgan Wallen. We're going to play some golf, and who knows, maybe do a little bit of fishing there. But that wraps up this week's episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be having the full episode later on, or you can podcast us later in the week. I'm not, depending on when I'll be able to get the episode out. Oh no, gave it a good run, but does not look like Ethan's mic is going to work here, unfortunately. So the lovely technology, what would a Three Guys Talking About podcast be without some bad technology? We already have shitty webcams. Now we have shitty internet connections. So, we're just adding to the list here, but we thank everybody who did listen and tune in. We'll be back it'll probably depending on what happens. If the Celtics are able to sweep, we'll be back on Monday. But if not, it's going to be a Sunday night episode here. We don't have Sunday night football yet, but we're going to have a Sunday night podcast. So make sure you tune in for that. We'll talk to you next time.